Hello everybody. And so I thought, I can see my reflection in the video, that's real nice. I'd show you my rack of 8 40-gallon breeders. It's pretty much a wall of breeders, 40-gallon breeders. And I've actually got most of these tanks looking pretty decent, except for this one. I'm making a video because someone supposedly agreed to buy some moss out of a couple of these tanks, and this was the moss I was going to sell, but they haven't paid yet. So, I'll do a video before it's redone, but the rest of them I've redone in the last couple months mostly. This is the Japan Blue. This is one of the 2 of them that don't have any shrimp in it. These are Japan Blues. Look at this guy right. Ready to go. Yeah. There, look at that one. Wow. That guy's gorgeous. I'm fixing, when I get all this moss and these plants under control, I'm going to do a really hard cull on these guys and pretty much start it over. Just keep a handful of fish and let it start over. So that's the plan with this tank. This tank, I trimmed it all back. You see a cull making a video. These, cull right there. Orange Sakura shrimp. And did have some hybrid project thing going on in here, but I'm more worried about making more shrimp than fish these days. But still, I actually am considering, there's a buried one right there, considering getting more involved with a line of guppies. I haven't decided which ones yet. So they're going to be the Sakura Reds or my bigger red mosaics. But you can see there's a bunch of little Liga coming back. I cut it all down almost to the ground because all these things are overgrown with it. But orange Neos. And now we have this tank. I'm getting ready to add a second filter and clean this filter setup. I'm going to add a 1 sponge filter with that same kind of power head on here, because these are where I'm trying to get my young super reds. There's a male right there. I'm trying to get them to start breeding. They're just now getting to the age where they might start breeding. About the size. I think it's more size than age. So they've been getting a lot of green beans. Trying to get them going. Sometimes I see them in the cave. There's one on the edge of that cave, on the outside of it. Yeah, right there. It's been digging. I noticed they've been digging underneath the caves as much as they've been in the caves. So sometimes I see there might be one in there. It's hard to see because the light, or lack of light. There's also some yellows in here, some yellow shrimp, yellow goldenbacks. Oh, and there's the blue star endlers. That this tank is, there must be something. I started noticing that these guppies were looking real sickly. Well, the females do fine, or the males do fine. It's the females that I'm having a problem with. I did have like 9 females or 9 males, and I was down to that one female. And you should, it was like wherever she went, there's a school of males chasing her. So I left 2 in there. That's probably too many, but I think this tank still has a bit of the, yeah, I don't know. What is going on with this tank? Every guppy I put in here seems to be cursed. Guppy or anyway. The shrimp do good. Pluggers do good. Plants look good. I think this valve is finally starting to do something. There's definitely new growth. That's exciting. I haven't done anything. I need to try to put in some plant spikes underneath these, but they're starting to grow. They're starting to do something. So if they're established, I probably should put some fertilizer underneath the substrate fertilizer. Oh, let's see here. There it is. Let's see what the tank looks like. And here's one of my personal favorite tanks. The Blue Dreams tank. I don't know, this tank is hard to film. But this is just Blue Dream shrimp. Nothing else. Some real good ones in here for sure. Kind of dark. But yeah, this moss and Ludwigia. You can tell where I cut those plants. Yeah, remember, it's a great big huge overgrown mess. And this one, so I'm just blindly cutting into the mess, and that's what's grown back. Even that one didn't have any leaves left on top. It's grown, got new growth starting on it, so I'm sure it'll be back. There's a call. Yeah, I did a call in this tank a few weeks ago. But apparently I missed a couple. Hiding down in the moss. I always wanted, when I got into keeping shrimp, Blue Dreams were the holy grail. When the colony kind of struggled at first, that set me back a while. I ordered 10 and got like 8 males, and the last female that died was buried. She died buried. So it was slow to get started off. But this colony, and they done good. The original colony has done good. But I picked out about 40 or 50 of the best ones that I could find and put them in here sometime in the summer. And I've actually sold 50 out of here too, believe it or not, and there's still this many. I'm pretty psyched. Right, there's another call right there. Missed a couple. Still pretty good for a tank this big. Alright. I'm going to have to climb my fat butt on the floor to do the last 4. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright. This is... Yeah, I should have cleaned the glass, but I didn't. still nebulas. And with the same with the Japan blues. There's some really good ones in here. I'm gonna try to pick out just a handful of the best. The best still in their prime guppies. Just pick out a few. Here's the thing with this. There's been some cross-contamination in the shrimp world here. This is purposely I threw some snowballs in here to see what would happen with the guppies, and somehow must be tank jumpers or python hitchhiker babies that I miss. But there's been some red ones, and you'll see why. It's because there's a bunch of red shrimp in the tank below it. So when I've taken the hose, it's from this tank to this tank. And since these ain't really, this tank was meant for fish, not shrimp, I haven't really been paying attention to what the shrimp are doing. Here's some old ones. This colony needs to be thinned out. Take most of them out. Pleco. I think she's the only pleco in this tank. I think the Blue Dreams, all these 40 gallons have plecos in them. I think the Blue Dreams tank has a breeding pair in it, but I don't do anything. So when I do have fry of it, I don't know if any of them make it. I don't put out veggies or anything. But anyway. And then we'll go on to the next tank, which is one of my favorite tanks as well. Big ear red mosaic guppies. And this tank had all moss. Well then, guppy grass took over, and a couple weeks ago I cut up the guppy grass had taken over the whole tank, and they was all up here by the power head, but which was good because these guys are super bad fry eaters. And so having all that guppy grass for the fry to go in works out good. It's not good for when I need to catch some out, but I'm really liking these guys are looking for me anyway. I've picked them out over the course. I've had these guys for almost 3 years now. And here the last year and a half, 2 years, I've been selectively breeding them for what I want them to look like. And this is what we've got. My favorite guppy that I have. That one's still developing his patterning. He's a nice and vibrant looking young fish. He's just entering his prime. That's a really good female right there. That female not so much. I noticed when I started calling for females, I started doing better. I like the females like that with the pattern in their tail, and not the ones with just the gray tail. Like I would pick, even though that one has kind of a weird tail shape, that is, in my book, that is a stupendous female. And I think these are the ones I'm going to try to start raising on purpose. So just colony breeding. So I like these guys a lot. There's a big old guy right there. Lots of nice fish. There's a nice one. My favorite guppies. Alright, and then down here, I like these a lot, but they're on the floor. And I unplugged the heaters. There's a bunch of fry, but they grow up so slow. So slow. With the temperature, let's see. Looks like the temperature is somewhere between 68 and 64. So yeah, they slow down a lot breeding wise, but that female needs cold out. That's a good female, right? Where did she get? Right there. That's what these females should look like. The males are all there. There's a coal back in there somewhere. That one's old. He's got. That's what they should look like, but he's an old man. This is another good one right there, but his tail's frayed from being old. There's plenty of fry swimming around in here. And there's tons of really good shrimp too. This tank used to have lots and lots and lots of shrimp, like it was crawling with shrimp. But I don't feed this tank as much since I lowered the temperatures. So this is going to end up being a cold water. I'll end up trying to make my version of these, those being used to cold water. At first they didn't like it when I undid the heaters. And they didn't die. But yeah, that's the best one I see in the tank right there. Yeah, focusing on the water spots. Okay. Anyway. There's that. And then the last tank. And this tank has some very cool shrimp. And some weird looking guppies that some Japan blue and then some what the heck are you type of things. But in this tank, you can see there are lots and lots of shrimp. Hundreds and hundreds. There's like a red really. There's all kinds of. A couple of red really looking ones right there. These shrimp are awesome. And I'd say it was probably about a year ago. Maybe more than a year ago. I did a hard cull on my black rose shrimp. And these black rose shrimp I have, they put out most of the shrimp, or at least something kind of blue. There's one that ended up being black. I guess but anyway, I took about 15 or 20. 15 or 20 of these blue rose, or yeah, black rose culls. The blue ones, because the regular culls I just threw in a cull tank. But the blue ones, they all got put in this tank. About 15 or 20 of them, I'd say. And this is what's happened over the course of a year. I guess you could call them, if I stayed on top of them, on the culls, which I made this moss, all this moss in this 40-gallon breeder. Well, there's some of the moss that's supposed to be sold, so if this guy pays me tonight, I'm going to be harvesting out all this moss, and I may go through and cull these shrimp. But that just goes to show you what some of these shrimp may have come from. Like when I started adding black roses into my cull tank, black rose genetics into my cull tank, I started getting all kinds of weird shrimp. There's some wilds like that, but I'd say 80% plus are at least some kind of a blue shrimp. And then you got like blue realies, carbon realies, and red realies is new. But there was what would be a Bloody Mary right there. But well, as I'm finding out, it's either the shrimp they bred to make black roses or the black roses. I don't know the history of neocaridinias. I've seen all the charts and I understand some of it, but seeing the genetics that come out of those blue black rose culls is pretty cool, and you can kind of get an understanding of what shrimps come from what. Like I've always known, or has always been thought, or I've always thought in my personal limited brain, it's like a blue velvet right there. I like that guy. He's cool, like blue pearl, blue velvet. And weird. But you can see where some of these different kinds of shrimp may have come from, or what kinds of different shrimp went into making black roses. Could be another way of looking at it. You'd have to ask the pioneers in China or Taiwan how that all worked out. But this is a cool tank. Sometimes I'll just sit on the floor sometimes. It sucks that it's on the floor, but lots of super cool shrimp in here. Alright, really looking guys I've been seeing, I got one of these in my other cull tank. I've been seeing them like red robin hood shrimp or whatever. They look like a snowball with a red head. Call them yellow little red riding hood shrimp. I've seen them around a few times. As you can kind of see where shrimp breeders get their starts by just having a specific blue black roses that threw blue shrimp and put them. There's like 15 to 20 of them. So that's some kind of guppy project going in here. I think I was trying to crossbreed Japan blues and red mosaics, and you can see you get a lot of what the hell are you supposed to be looking guppies. I've tried to catch them all out in here before, but as you can tell, some of them are not so easy to catch, and then their numbers just build up. All it takes is one female, these guys to drop, and you're screwed. But I'm seeing a lot of like blue velvets with the red tails. I don't know if I can get that one on camera. Anyway, yeah, look at that shrimp. It's like blue velvet with a red tail. This is all just stuff I'm discovering for the first time myself. I've never seen this shrimp before. I just wish this dang thing would focus. There it is. Look at that. That's pretty freaking sweet. Looks like it's a male. Blue velvet with a red tail. Sweet. Anyway. That's what this thing looks like. This guy pays me tonight. There is breeding plecos in here too. There's a fork that the moss is buried. Fork was in there to feed it zucchini. The plecos. That's how the inside of the glass is clean. There's some cool dudes in here, man. Another. That may have been what, like a start of a pretty cool shrimp. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, everyone, thank you all for watching. Bye.